ॐ नमो नारायणाय ॐ नमो नारायणाय
Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmad Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmad Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha. We're continuing on with Hari Bhakti Vilasa. We're talking about we're in chapter 14. We're talking about the rituals that we perform or festivals in the month of Chaitra, and we've come to the Dola festival. So, text 303: on the Ekadasi of the waxing moon of the month of Chaitra, one should place the Lord on a swing facing south. That's interesting, facing south, right? South is Yama, is the direction of hell or the direction of death, which is sort of weird, right? And gently swing him. This festival should be joyfully performed, and it should be accompanied by singing, dancing, and playing of musical instruments. Text 304. In the Garuda Purana, it is stated, in this age of Kali, one should place Lord Hari on a swing facing south in the fortnight of the waxing moon of the month of Chaitra. After duly worshipping the Lord, one should swing him throughout the month. Throughout the month. That's interesting. Okay. So it's on the Ekadasi of the waxing moon. So I guess you start on that day. So then it says, text 305. This festival is eternal. So the word nityata is used here, which means it always has to be performed. So one who does not observe the Rath Yatra festival in the month of Kartika, who does not offer a new thread to the Lord in the month of Shravana, and who does not offer Damanaka flowers in the month of Chaitra, becomes degraded. So there's three things that have to be done. Okay, so then text 306. One should have darshan of the Lord as he is seated on the swing with devotion, with faith and devotion, and one should remain awake the entire night in his presence while maintaining a pure state of mind. So it sounds like this is specifically for the first night, which is on the Ekadasi, right? It's because we know, Hari Bhakti Vilas recommends staying awake all night on Ekadasi. So text 307, the glories of the Dola festival. In the same literature, it is stated, the same literature means Padma Purana, right? It is stated, by observing Lord Krishna as he is seated on a swing, all of the contamination within the heart that is born in Kali Yuga is washed away, and one becomes freed from the effects of thousands of offenses. Text 308. O king, until a person swings Lord Krishna, the slayer of Kamsa, all his sinful reactions that were accumulated during millions of lifetimes remain intact. Text 309. On the day of Dola Yatra, that would be the waxing moon Ekadasi in Chaitra, all the demigods headed by Mahadeva, that means Shiva, joyfully dance, sing, and play musical instruments in the courtyard of the temple. Text 310. Being eager to see Lord Vishnu's swing festival, the sages, Gandharvas, like angels, Apsaras, like Ramba, the Nagas, right, Sarpas or snakes, right, headed by Vasuki, the demigods and the leader of the demigods, Brahma, all come to watch the Dola Yatra festival. Text 311. O ruler of the earth, during the Dola Yatra festival in the months of Chaitra and Vaishak, okay, so it's talking about Chaitra and the next month also Vaishak, right? Those who come to take darshan of Lord Krishna as he is seated on a swing are all as good as demigods. Text 312. The inhabitants of the three worlds become jubilant upon seeing Lord Vishnu seated on a swing. Therefore, one should participate in the Dola Yatra festival, even if it means giving up hundreds of works. Text 313. O King Yudhisthira, only after remembering the benediction he awarded Prahlada does Lord Vishnu sit on the swing. Text 314. Those who remain awake at night in front of Lord Krishna as he is seated on a swing achieve all kinds of piety within a fraction of a second. Text 315. Those who take darshan of Lord Krishna as he enjoys the swing festival in the months of Chaitra and Vaishakha, right, become worshipped by the demigods and thereafter participate in the pastimes of Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha. Text 316. Elsewhere it is stated, by seeing Govinda, the Lord of the demigods, as he is seated on the swing facing south, even once, one is freed from the sin of killing a Brahmana. Now here, text 317, the process of celebrating the Dole festival, right? So the Vidhi here, Dolotsava Vidhi. After completing one's morning duties on the 12th day in the fortnight of the waxing moon in the month of Chaitra, one should celebrate the Dole festival after finishing his worship of the Supreme Lord. Now that's interesting because that goes against the original text that says it should start on the Ekadasi. So it's interesting. Then text 318, to celebrate this festival, one should prepare and offer very special food to the Lord. Thereafter, one should feed the Lord's remnants of food to the devotees. And after that, everyone should engage in singing, dancing, and playing musical instruments. Text 319, after performing a grand arti ceremony, one should throw colored powder that is mixed with sandalwood and other fragrant substances over the body of the Lord again and again. So this is like a festival like Holi. So text 320, one should satisfy the Vaishnavas by throwing this fragrant colored powder on them while dancing and singing in their association. Thereafter, one should offer his obeisances to Lord Krishna and carefully place him on the swing, which should be fully decorated. Text 321. So that everyone can watch this beautiful festival, the Lord should be brought outside the temple room and placed on a raised altar. Then the devotees should begin to swing Krishna after worshipping him in accordance with the prescribed rules and regulations. Text 322. In this way, one should worship Lord Krishna and place him on a swing every 3 hours. So the word used here is yame, right, which is a prahara or a yama is 3 hours. So after love, with love and affection, one should joyfully celebrate this festival throughout the day and night. Text 323. In this manner, the devotees should assemble and remain awake all night, offering obeisances to the Lord, praying to him, and offering arti to him. In the conclusion of the festival, one should bring Krishna back to his temple room, accompanied by singing and playing of musical instruments. Text 324. Some Vaishnavas like to celebrate this grand festival on the 3rd day of the fortnight of the waxing moon of the month of Chaitra, so on the Tritiya. So if they have the ability, they can continue the swing festival for 1 month until Akshaya Tritiya, which is the third day of the waxing fortnight of the month of Vaishakha, the next month. So text 325, in this regard, it's stated, in this age of Kali, one should place the husband of Lakshmi on a swing during the 3rd day of the fortnight of the waxing moon in the month of Chaitra. After duly worshipping the Lord, one should continue to swing him for 1 full month. Text 326. The Dole festival should be celebrated on Raka Purnima, that is in the month of Palguna. So the Purnima in the month of Palguna, which is Gaur Purnima, right, for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, when the star Uttara Palguni joins the day. This is observed at Jagannath Puri. Text 327, the procedures which are followed at Jagannath Puri for worshipping deities and holding festivals such as Dol Yatra, Chandan Yatra, water pastimes, the boat festival, and Shnani Yatra should be done in other parts of the country as well. This is an interesting verse here, because the Shnani Yatra has a particular, in Jagannath Puri, has a particular observance that they do these days, probably since the time when the kings of Maharashtra invaded and took over Orissa. right? Because in Maharashtra, they like to worship Ganesh. So they also, there's a story that there was one great devotee of Ganesh who saw this Shnani Yatra or bathing ceremony of Jagannath, Balaram, and Subhadra, where the paint washes off because the paint is water-based paint. And he wanted to see Ganesha, and so that Jagannath and Balaram were dressed in Gajavesh like Ganesha. This is a common idea, and it seems that this is not part of the original festivals that were, or how the original festivals were celebrated, but according to the Jagannath Puri temple. But it was something that was brought in later by some of the Marathi kings, and so here is a question here. If are we supposed to follow the modern these festivals which came in at a later date, or only the original festivals of the Temple of Jagannath? But here, obviously, the author of Hari Bhakti Vilas, the author and commentator on Hari Bhakti Vilas, we could look at the commentary and see what it says. But saying that we should follow all the festivals and all the way they do them in Jagannath Puri and other places is very interesting because the Jagannath Puri temple, the puja there is done according to Panchopasana system or Smarta system, which was instituted by Adi Shankaracharya. And Ramanuja tried to change it to Pancharatra, and it wasn't changed because they say Jagannath didn't want it to be changed. But at the same time, should we emulate this type of Smarta Puja of the Jagannath Puri temple in other places? The other thing that is quite controversial is that it doesn't mention here the Rath Yatra, but assuming that Jagannatha Anusarataha means following the way that they do things in Jagannath, it does mention Rath Yatra it didn't mention in the translation here, but in the last line, it mentions also Rath Yatra. So if we're to do Rath Yatra in the same way that they do it in Jagannath Puri, does that mean we have to do it on the same day? This has been a bone of contention between some people in Orissa and ISKCON. ISKCON holds Rath Yatra festivals all over the world for Jagannath deities, and they hold them at different times of the year. Maybe not different times of the year, except maybe in the Southern Hemisphere, but different times, not exactly on the same day as happens in Jagannath Puri. Now, there are Rath Yatra festivals or Rathotsavas that happen in other temples like Sri Rangam. There are 3 different Rathas, and there's different that happen at different times. Should they all fall on the same day as Jagannath Rath Yatra? Normally not, but this verse seems to indicate that Gaudiya Vaishnavas want to emulate the festival pattern, especially with Rath Yatra and Dol Yatra, Chandran Yatra, and both festivals, emulate what happens in Jagannath Puri. So it's a very interesting statement. Maybe there's something in the Tika, the commentary by Sanatan Goswami, that explains this. But I would say this is a pramana that somebody would pull out to say that we should follow, Gaudiya Vaishnavas should follow the pattern of the Jagannath Puri temple worship. Okay, which is quite controversial. Anyway, so text 328. So Ata Damanaka Aropanotsava. So the festival of offering Damanaka flowers to the Lord. So one should celebrate the festival of offering Damanaka flowers to the Lord on the 12th day of the fortnight of the waxing moon in the month of Chaitra. Now, the method of observing this festival is being described as presented in the Bodhayana Samhita. Bodhayana was a very ancient sage, and Bodhayana was a follower of the Krishna Yajurveda, right? His students, Apastamba, and the student of Apastamba, Hiranyakeshan, also issued their own sutras on ritual activity, as did Bodhayana. So we still see in South India Bodhayana, Apastamba, and Hiranyakeshan following the different forms. Now, Bodhayana was specific. He also wrote a Brahma Sutra Bhashya, which Ramanuja took advantage of. Had to go to Kashmir to see the last version, the last manuscript of it, for writing his Sri Bhashya. So Bodhayana is a very famous sage. Here it's saying Bodhayana Samhita. It doesn't actually say the word Samhita in the Sanskrit. So we just have to take that it's according to Bodhayana. Bodhayana is also mentioned later on in the installation of the deity in chapter 19 in Hari Bhakti Vilasa. So anyway, Bodhayana, that's a little bit background about Bodhayana. He's saying that this festival should be observed as presented by Bodhayana. So, text 329. After completing one's morning duties on the Ekadasi of the fortnight of the waxing moon of the month of Chaitra, one should go to a garden of Damanaka plants and worship Kamadev. Kamadev is Cupid, right? He's also associated with Lord Krishna in the sense that the Kamadev Gayatri is also understood to be a Krishna mantra. That Krishna and Kamadev, Krishna is supposed to be like the spiritual form of Kamadev, but there is another Devata called Kamadev, who is basically Cupid and who deals with people in love and amorous pastimes and things like that. He was burned by Shiva's third eye when he tried to agitate Shiva to get him to come back to consciousness when he was meditating. And that place there's a hill, I think it's called Matunga Hill. There's a hill in Hampi, which is in northern Karnataka, near Bellary, right? Which is the old Vijayanagara Empire capital. And they have a hill there where they say that Shiva burned Kamadev. And therefore he is known as Ananga. Ananga. So in the Kamadev Gayatri, Tannonanga Prachodayat, we meditate upon that person without a body. He's without a body, Ananga. He has no angas or no limbs because Shiva burned his body to pieces like that. Okay, so text 330, the mantra for worshipping the Ashoka tree. So now somehow or other from Damanaka flowers, we've come to the Ashoka tree, which is also a spiritual tree. So the Ashoka tree here, so this is the mantra. So we'll chant the mantra. Ashokaya namastubhyam kama stri shokanashanaha shokartim hadame nityam anandam janayasva me. O Ashoka tree, my obeisance unto you. You destroy the distress felt by the wife of Kamadev. Kindly remove my sufferings, bestow upon me eternal happiness. Okay, so when worshiping the Ashoka tree, so this is the context here that we started to talk about Kamadev, and so therefore we understand that Kamadev has a wife. He may have more than one wife, but I know he has one wife at least called Rati, right? Which means desire, I think. Anyway, so Kama means love, and Rati means desire. So Kamadev's wife was in distress. Why? Because Shiva burned up her husband, Kamadev. And so here's this mentioned in this prayer to the Ashoka tree. So text 331. And I think maybe part of this is also, as indicated by in the third line, the word iti indicates that the first two lines are also part of a mantra or to be chanted out loud. So we'll chant them. Neshami Krishna Pujartam, Tvam Krishna Priti Karakam. And the rest of the verse, iti sam prarthya natvacha griniyad damanam shubham. So, translation, you are very dear to Lord Krishna. I guess meaning the Damanak. Is this about the Ashok flower of the Ashok tree? Maybe these Damanaka flowers are coming from the Ashok tree. Anyway, therefore, okay, so you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Therefore, I'm taking you for the worship of Krishna. After praying in this way and offering one's obeisances, one should take a Damanaka plant along with its manjaris. Okay, text 332. After washing the plant with water and sprinkling the 5 products received from the cow, Panchagavya, one should worship the plant with offerings of flowers and sandalwood paste. Then one should cover the plant with new cloth and bring it home while chanting Vedic mantras. Okay, so we should go and get a Damanaka plant, right? And we should sprinkle it with Panchagavya. Panchagavya is cow urine, cow dung, milk, yogurt, and ghee, a mixture of those things in specific proportions. So now text 333, the Dhammanaka Adivas Vidi, the ritual to be performed the day before. Adivasa means what happens before. So specifically, Adivasa usually means that what happens the day before. So it's a preliminary ceremony, Adivasa. So here we have it. So one should draw auspicious markings, right, in the temple room in front of the Lord and place the Dhammanaka plant on top of them. Then Adivasa ceremony should be performed at night. Now, this is the second time in Vilasa 14 that we have mention of the Sarvato Bhadra Mandala. So anybody who wants to know how to draw this Sarvato Bhadra Mandala or invoke the deities of the Sarvato Bhadra Mandala, a mandala is like a yantra. It's a design that is made, and it can be made with precious gems, or it can be made with grains and dals or of different colors, or it can be made with colored powders or colored rice grains, or it can be painted, or it can be made on a cloth if you don't want to do that, go through that thing. So anybody who is interested in that, I have a document on Sarvato Bhadra Mandala. I also have a video up on my YouTube channel, Vaishnava Dharma International YouTube channel. So you just have to go at Vaishnava Dharma International. You can find that YouTube channel and search for Sarvato Bhadra Mandala. So throughout Hari Bhakti Vilas, Sarvato Bhadra Mandalas are to be drawn and worshipped on all Ekadasis. On Ram Nomi, we saw previously in the discussion of Ram Nomi, other appearance days of the Lord, and here on this Dhammanaka Utsava also. So it says here specifically, Sarvato Bhadra Mandala. So a mandala, a yantra usually is a two-dimensional diagram which represents a deity, like a deity form. A mandala tends to have more than one deity on it, and a mandala tends to be a representation of the universe, and different deities are invoked upon it, like that. And they're valedicted, or visarjana is done, and they're sent away also. They're invoked and worshipped, and then they're sent away at the end of the puja. So then the Adivas ceremony is performed at night. Okay, so here's the mantra for performing the Adivas. So after you have the mandala and everything like this. So it goes like this, 334. Pujartam devasya Vishnu Lakshmi Pate Prabho Dhamana Tvam Iha Gacha Sanidhyam Kurume Te Namaha. Right. O Dhammanaka plant, please come and reside here. I invite you for the worship of Lord Vishnu, the master of the demigods and the husband of Lakshmi. I offer my obeisances to you. Text 335 to 336. Thereafter, one should worship the Dhammanaka plant in the eight directions. Should worship the Dhammanaka plant in the 8 directions. Okay. Beginning with the east, by offering sugarcane, rice paddy, sandalwood paste, flowers, according to the prescribed rules and regulations. The 8 directions should be worshipped by chanting these mantras. Kamadevaya Namaha, Bhashma Shariraya Namaha, Anaghaya Namaha, Manmataya Namaha, Vasanta Shakye Namaha, Smaraya Namaha, Ikshu Chapaya Namaha, and Pushpa Banaya Namaha. This is not Pushpa Banaya, it's Pushpa Banaya. B's and V's in Bengali are interchangeable. So sometimes in Hari Bhakti Vilas we find, because many copies of Hari Bhakti Vilas are written in Bengali script by Gaudiya Vaishnavas who know Bengali script and use it very often for Sanskrit. So the B's and V's are sometimes interchanged here. So the author here didn't realize that the word is Pushpa Banaya. Pushpa Banaya means flower arrows. Kamadev is understood to be a devata who rides on a parrot, and he has a sugarcane bow, a bow made of sugarcane. The string of the bow is made of bumblebees, and it shoots 5 arrows, which those arrows are made of flowers. So here it's talked, and this is also described in the Kamadev Gayatri. Kamadevaya Vidmahe, Klim Kamadevaya Vidmahe, Pushpa Banaya. Pushpa Banaya means the flower arrows. Dhimahi, Tanno Nanga, without a body. Prachodayat, I meditate upon he who has no body, who has the flower arrows, that Kamadev. Okay, good. So text 337, the Dhammanaka plant should be purified. Oh, and all these mantras here, these are part of different names. These are different names of Kamadev, which have the word Namaha added to them. And so we're worshiping Kamadev by saying these mantras, these names. This is typical in South India. That's called Archana or Nama Archana. Archana means worship, and worship with the names. So Astotra Sata, here we go. So text 337, the Dhammanaka plant should be purified by chanting the Kama Gayatri mantra 108 times. So I just mentioned about that. So then one should offer flowers at the lotus feet of Krishna and offer his obeisances to Kamadev while chanting the following mantra. So here is the mantra for offering obeisances to Kamadev. Text 338, Namostu Pushpapanaya Jagadahladakarine Manmataya Jagannetre Rati Priti Pradayine. O Lord, you carry an arrow of flowers, more than one arrow of flowers, okay? So you give happiness to the people of the world, and you are the transcendental Cupid. You are the creator of the universe, and you are the giver of pleasure to Rati. Remember I mentioned Rati, who is the wife of Kamadev. Kindly accept my obeisances. So this is a prayer relating Lord Krishna, identifying Lord Krishna with Kamadev. So to be clear again, there is a Kamadev who is a material devata, right? A god, a demigod. And then there is also Krishna, who is the spiritual Kamadev. And that's why, but this mantra here is applicable to Lord Krishna because it says that he's the creator of the universe, right? And Kamadev, as the demigod Kamadev, is not the creator of the universe. So Lord Krishna, as Kamadev, is the creator of the universe. So text 339, 341 to 341. O controller of the demigods. So this also seems to be prayers, a continuation of the prayers. So we'll continue to chant it. Amantrikto si devesha purana purushottama atastvam pujayishyami sanidhyam kurukeshava nivedyam yaham tubhyam pratar dhamanakam shubham sarvata sarvada vishno namastestu prasida me itam amantra devesham dhatva pushpanjalim puna gita nritya dina ratro kujaj jagaranam muda. Okay, so these were the three Sanskrit verses. O controller of the demigods, O eternal supreme personality of Godhead, you have been invited by me so that I can offer worship unto you, O Keshava, O Vishnu. Please become manifest before me. I will offer a separate Dhammanaka plant to you in the morning. I offer my respectful obeisances to you. Please be merciful to me. After inviting the Supreme Lord in this way and offering him flowers, one should remain awake the entire night of Ekadasi while singing, dancing, and playing musical instruments. So now we have text 342 to 343, the procedure for offering the Dhammanaka flowers. So after completing one's morning bath and other rituals on Dwadasi, after the Ekadasi Vratam, one should first offer a grand arti to the Lord. Then, to offer the Dhammanaka plant, he should hold it in his hand while ringing a bell. Then one should first offer a Dhammanaka manjari, means a flowering part of the plant, right? On the head of Lord Krishna, and then offer Dhammanaka flowers at his feet. So first of all, one Dhammanaka flower manjari, one Dhammanaka manjari on Krishna's head, and then the rest flowers at his feet. So the mantra for offering the Dhammanaka flowers, text 344. Deva Deva Jagannatha Vanchita Artapad Pradayaka Krishnana Puraya Krishna me Krishna Kaman Kameshvari Priya. O Lord of the demigods, O Lord of the universe, O fulfiller of all desires, O Krishna, O lover of Radha, please fulfill all my desires. It's interesting because I don't see the actual word Radha in the Sanskrit. Interesting. Okay, so text 345. Again, this seems to be a verse which is chanted, a mantra which is chanted. Idam damanakam deva grahana mad anugrahat imam samvatsarim pujam bhagavan iha puraya. Puraya. O Supreme Lord, please accept these damanaka flowers out of compassion for me. Almighty Lord, may this annual worship be completed without difficulty. So it's mentioned here, Samvatsarim Pujam. So this is happening once a year, the Damanaka festival. So text 346. Thereafter, one should offer the Lord a garland made with flowers and leaves of the Damanaka plant. This should be followed by an offering of sandalwood paste and other items. Thereafter, one should celebrate the festival by singing and playing musical instruments. Finally, one should pray to Lord Krishna in the following manner. This sounds like also a mantra here. Text 347. Mani vidruma malabhi, or malabir, mandara kusumadi bihi, iyam samvatsari puja, tavastu Garuda Dwaja. O Lord, the flag of whose chariot bears the markings of Garuda, kindly accept these garlands made of jewels and mandara flowers, and be satisfied with this annual worship offered by me. Text 348. Again, seems to be a mantra. Vanamalam yata deva kaustubam satatam hridi Tadvad damanakim malam pujancha hridaye vaha. O Supreme Lord, just as you constantly keep a garland of forest flowers and Kostuba gem and the Kostuba gem on your chest, kindly keep this garland of Damanaka flowers on your chest and accept my worship of you. Text 349. Thereafter, one should offer his obeisances to the Supreme Lord and then worship his spiritual master with love and devotion. Thereafter, one should satisfy the assembled brahmanas according to his capacity and finally have his meal along with his friends and relatives. Text 350. If the day of Parna, meaning the breaking of the fast, right? If on the day of Parna, there is no presence of Dwadasi, the 12th day, even for the duration of one danda, which is one danda is 24 minutes, right? Nalige, or half a muhurta. Then the rituals known as Pavitropana and Damanakaropana should be performed on Trayodasi. So if there's no presence of Dwadasi, after sunrise on the day after Ekadasi, then these rituals of Pavitropana, which happens later on, which we are offering pavitras or colored garlands to the Lord with certain knots with prayers stated on them, which is meant to destroy the effects of Seva Parad, which we've done throughout the year, or this Damanaka Ropana, where we offer Damanaka flowers. Those festivals have to be moved to the Trayodasi if there's no presence of Dwadasi on the day after Ekadasi. So text 351. If, due to some impediment, the offering of Damanak flowers during the month of Chaitra cannot be made, then the same ritual, right, this Damanaka Aropanam, right, can be performed on the full moon day or the 12th day of the month of Vaishak, the next month, or on the 12th day of the month of Shravana. So text 352. Brahma spoke this verse, which is found in the Devi Purana. My dear child, you should always worship Krishna according to the prescribed rules and regulations during the auspicious month of Chaitra. by offering him sandalwood paste, incense, arghya, which is water, usually water for washing the hands, but can also be sprinkled over the head by the guest, right? Food, and Damanaka flower garlands. Text 353. By worshipping the Supreme Lord in this way, and by performing a fire sacrifice for his pleasure, all of one's desires are fulfilled, and one attains the merit of bathing in all the holy places of pilgrimage.
Om Namo Narayanaaya. Om Namo